Hey, how's it going, guys? And welcome back to my YouTube channel with your host Josh. And in today's episode, we'll be going over networking topology. Now, in previous episodes, we've gone over the OSI model, and I've talked a little about other things related to networking. But if you guys like this content that I'm pushing out, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button down below and let me know what you think of these videos. But for now, let's get started. Hey, how's it going, guys? And welcome back to Networking 101. Now, today we'll be going over the network topologies. Now, there's 5 kinds of network topologies that we'll go over today. Now, I know that you may have heard of a couple of them, and some you probably haven't heard at all. But we'll go over a few today, and we'll go ahead and see how they are implemented in a network, and we'll go from there. Now, the first network topology that we'll talk about is going to be called the mesh. Now, the mesh is widely used in the networking world, and that's because every device is connected with every other device. So for example, let's say we have 5 devices on a network. Each device is connected to each other via a channel, let's say a port. So let's say we have one of those computers connected to the other 4 devices. You'll have 4 different connections going to that single computer. So then in total you have 4 open ports on that one device. Now, some of the advantages of a mesh network is that it's robust, meaning that it's reliable because each device is directly connected to the other device. So the data that's being transferred from one device to another is reliable, and when it comes to diagnosing faults, you can easily find where the fault is because of that direct connection between each device. Now, some of the problems with the mesh network is that the cost of having this network would be kind of high because of all of the interconnected devices and all of the cables and wiring that you have to run between each device, as well as the installation and the configuration of each device via the cables and the ports. You have a lot of upkeep with it, a lot of maintenance, and over time that'll just cost you a lot of money. The next network topology we'll go over is called the star network. Now, the star network is different because you have one central hub and each device is connected to it with a dedicated Ethernet cable or whatever cable that you connect it with. The advantage of having a star network is that you have less cables that is required to implement this kind of network because each device is individually connected to that single hub or server, for example. So you minimize the need for a mass number of cables, and thus that requires less maintenance because you have less cables. Also, it requires less configuration setup just because you have to just manually go in there and set up one port per device for that single server. You also have the ability to limit a failure because each device is individually connected to the central server, so you can go ahead and isolate that failure and take it out. Also, you can interchange or add multiple devices because of that simplistic way of just connecting that one device via that channel to that central server. So it's very easy to mix and match or take out one device or add devices. Now, some of the problems with the star network is that since you have a central hub or, for example, a server, then if that server ever goes down, then your network will crash because each individual device that is connected to that server doesn't have any other means of getting connectivity because they are all connected to that one dedicated hub. Also, the installation of this network could be high depending on how big you want your network to be, just because of the ability to add more devices as you go along, as well as having your network performance be based solely on that central hub or server because you have that connectivity only going towards that dedicated server and it disperses its network into each device. The next network topology that we'll go over is called the bus network, or the line network as some may call it. Now this network gets its name because each connected device is connected to one single cable or dedicated backbone. The advantages of having a bus topology is that since you only have one dedicated backbone or cable line, it's best suited for small businesses. Also, it's much easier to install rather than having a, let's say, star topology, because that one cable line is used predominantly throughout the whole network. Now, there are quite a few disadvantages to having a bus topology. One is that it's not suited for large networks, just because, of course, if you have one dedicated backbone, and you try to grow your network topology, it just is not going to work. And that's because the more devices you add to that backbone, the slower your network will become, and the performance of each device will just deteriorate. It could also be difficult to identify any problems that you have within your network if the whole network goes down, because each device is connected to one cable. Also, if that one cable gets damaged in any way, then your network could fail easily, or it could split into two, causing much more problems for you. Now, the fourth network topology that we'll go ahead and talk about is called the ring topology. This one gets its name because each connected device is interconnected, creating a circular or ring-like display. Packets within this network can travel either unidirectional or bidirectional as well. There's a couple advantages to having this ring topology in that you have less chances of collision within your network because of that ring shape. Also, it's easy to install and expand more devices within that ring network. A couple of the disadvantages of having the ring network is that the data has to travel through each workstation, so it could slow down your network if it bogs down your overall capacity. Also, if one of your workstations or devices goes down within that network, then it could potentially hinder your whole network, just because of that ring circular shape. So let's just say if one goes down, it'll break that link, and then that whole network would fail. The next network topology we'll go over is called the tree topology. This one is a variant of the star network, but this tree topology has a hierarchy flow of data, and its accessibility for troubleshooting as well. Some of the advantages of the tree topology is that since you have two or more central hubs or servers within the hierarchy, its ability to have more devices is way more. Also, its scalability is enhanced. You could also isolate a fault or troubleshoot any kind of issue because of its ability to have different central servers. You can go ahead and isolate the devices within that centralized server, so it'll be a lot easier if you have this kind of topology within a bigger network for a company. A couple of the downfalls of having a tree topology is that centralized main server that has a network in it, if that one goes down, then your whole network is probably going to go down. Also, the expense for having so much cables running through each part of the tree hierarchy is going to be expensive, and the maintenance part is going to grow. And there you have it, guys. We have the mesh topology, you have the star topology, the bus topology, the ring topology, and the tree topology that we talked about today. If you guys have any more questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys think about this video. Any feedback is appreciated, and I appreciate you guys for your time and listening to me. Now, until next time, guys, I'm Josh, and see you guys.